Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to episode 118 of Driftless Knitting. This is a video podcast all about knitting, yarn, and sometimes other fiber crafts, but mostly just knitting and my love of yarn. I'm coming to you on Wednesday, June 29th at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm so happy that I was able to sit down and record so soon after my last episode. I know it's been several weeks, but I was a little bit worried that it was going to be a couple of months like it was the last time. So thankfully, I had a free afternoon. I am home today. I was home for most of the day. I did a little bit of work in the morning from a coffee shop, which was fantastic. But I was home the rest of the day because last week I worked extra for Knit Circus Yarns, which is the company that I work for. We were exhibiting down in the Chicago area for H&H Americas, which is a trade show that is focused towards like handcraft businesses. So yarn, embroidery, fabric, quilting, accessories for various crafts and fiber arts. And it was a great show. It was big, which was awesome. We had a lot of people stop through, and we did book several wholesale accounts for Knit Circus. So soon you will be able to see Knit Circus yarns in yarn shops near you. And if you're interested in seeing Knit Circus yarns in your local yarn shop, you can email info@knitcircus.com or tell your LYS to email us if they're interested in our wholesale information. So yeah, it was a long week. I was gone for 4 nights, 5 days, which is the longest I've been away from Hudson, but they did great. My mother-in-law helped out a lot, and yeah, I am back. I've been back since Saturday. So like Saturday afternoon, I got back. But anyway, I did work a bit of overtime, which I will be paid overtime for, don't you worry. But this week I just took a few hours off to kind of even things out a little bit. Plus, I didn't really have much of a chance to get stuff done at home when I got home because Seaver had to leave for a work trip on Sunday morning. So I got home Saturday afternoon. He left Sunday morning, and he will be home tomorrow night or Friday night. He's not sure yet. So by the time this goes up, he will be home. So don't worry about, safety or anything. I doubt I'm going to be able to get this edited and put up, before the weekend. So I wish, but probably not. So yeah, it was a little bit of a crazy few days in between, like, me getting back and settling back in, and then him leaving, and Hudson's been kind of like, what is happening? So it was nice to be home for a bit, get a few things done. I actually have gotten a lot done this afternoon, and one of the things on my list was record a podcast, because what better opportunity to, I'm home alone, I've got things to show you, it's been a few weeks, and I had to take this opportunity. Now I will warn you, I will be looking at, I'm looking at the middle of my phone right now, because this is like take 4 or 5 of filming just now, because my phone has been stopping the video. It's not because I don't have enough data. Like usually if that happens, like a notification comes up in the middle of the screen that says like you've run out of data, and that has happened to me before. I've had to go back and, clean up my phone a little bit. But this just it just stops recording, and it doesn't save the video that I just recorded, like the 3 minutes or whatever of it that I got through. It doesn't save it to my phone. It just disappears. So I restarted my phone. I'm hoping I've now gotten through 4.5 minutes, which is the longest it's let me record this afternoon so far. So I'm hoping this means that we're good to go, but I might just be checking because I don't want to waste my time sitting here talking to a phone that's not recording me, because I only have like an hour before I have to go pick up Hudson. So yeah. So I guess let's jump right into it. I probably have more stuff I could talk about with like life updates but I'm sure they'll just come about naturally. I can transition nicely from, I was like, what am I talking about? Can transition nicely from talking about H&H Americas to my finished object because I'm wearing it. And this I had started the last time I podcasted. This is the Kala top, spelled K-A-L-A, by Pip and Pin. And it is a cute little top that I wanted to wear at H&H Americas on one of the days to kind of, you know, wear a finished object of Knit Circus yarns. So I'm gonna stand up and hopefully I have enough room between my yarn shelf and the chair that I'm sitting on to kind of give you a good look at the top. So here we go. Okay. Yeah, I wish I could scoot back a little bit more, but let's move my chair out of the way so you can see this a little bit better. Okay, so this is the Kala top. It is knit with a fingering weight yarn. I did mine out of Knit Circus Yarn's Sage Advice, which is a semi-solid yarn. I did alternate skeins, but I used I didn't use the helical method. I'm knitting something right now where I'm using that method, and I totally forgot that I didn't do it on this one. But I switched between skeins after every round. So yeah, you can see a little bit of variation within the yarn, which is, you know, what we want, but there's no like big chunk where, you know, it looks a little bit different. These are from the same dye lot, but as you guys know, with hand-dyed yarn, you still should alternate skeins even within the same dye lot because you just never know. Anyway, can you tell that I talk with my hands a lot, and when I'm talking to you normally, my hands are below the screen and you don't see them move around so much, but yes, I'm a hand talker. Okay, so it's a cropped top. You can see it falls, I'm kind of wearing like high-waisted jeans. So this is my belly button right here. This is my hip bone. So these are like semi-high-waisted jeans. They hit like right above my hip bone, not quite to, this is like the smallest part of my waist. So there's a little bit of space. So it kind of hits right below my hip bone, which I really like. I did not block this aggressively. Oh, there you can see is that where I changed skeins? Yep, that's where I changed skeins. I didn't block this very aggressively because I didn't want it to be super big. And what else do I have to say about it? Oh, I did the option, there's two options in there. The ribbed like sleeves and I-cord, and I did the I-cord sleeves, which I really like the look of. And I believe this took just 2 skeins of yarn. What size did I do? I can't remember. The medium, maybe? Probably. So I love it. It's super lightweight. Trampoline is a like lighter fingering weight, and it's got a really bouncy twist. So it does have some bounce back, like it's not gonna grow. I might even have to, like when I wash it, I'll probably wanna like tug it a little bit to kind of block it again. This is just a really, really bouncy yarn. Oh, and the ribbing at the bottom is a twisted rib that was in the pattern. I followed all of the instructions in the pattern and did not really change anything. Yeah, I love it. It was fun to knit. I'm glad I'm finished with it because knitting that much of stockinette stitch in fingering weight, I haven't done that in a little while. And I was like getting to the point where I just wanted to be done. And thankfully it was kind of a cropped shirt, so I could be done with it quicker. But yeah, so I wore that on Thursday, which was the first full day of H&H. We got there on Tuesday evening, unloaded our van, put up our shelving, and then left for the day. And then Wednesday, we had a full day of setup. We got there at like 10. We had to be ready by 5 because from 5 to 7 was like a 2-hour meet and greet preview. So people could walk around, look at the booths, make a plan for what they wanted to do the next couple of days. We did actually book an account that night with someone, which usually, like, I think some people were, you know, having meetings and booking accounts on Wednesday, but it was more for like just, you know, meeting and chatting, and there was some food and some like wine and drinks and things like that. But yeah, so I wore this on Thursday, which was the first full day. We were there from 9 to 5, and yeah, it was great. It was perfect for, you know, an air conditioned, but you're still kind of active and around people, so it was a little bit warmer, but you know, I wasn't like freezing cold with no sleeves, but I wasn't warm at all. So highly recommend. The other thing that I was hoping to have done by H&H so I could wear it on the other full day of the conference was the Silverstone top by Crystal Hyatt. And this is a DK weight sweater. Okay, so my phone cut me off again. This time it did give me the warning that I was out of storage, so I had to finagle some things, and we're just gonna plug along, figure it out if it happens again. Okay, so I'm not sure where it cut me off, but I hope I was talking about the Silverstone tee by Crystal Hyatt. I did not finish this in time for H&H, but I'm still working on it and loving it. So this is my progress. I am doing this out of Daring DK, which is a Knit Circus DK yarn that is an MCN. It's a merino cashmere nylon, and DK weight, obviously. I'm doing this out of the colorway Busy Bee Speckles. So it's got purple and yellow and orange speckles on a cream base. I love this yarn. I've done a couple smaller projects out of Daring DK, but this is my first garment and I'm so excited about it. I cannot wait to have this done, and even if it's kind of, well, I won't wear it on a super warm day, but it's going to be worn this summer. Definitely worn like this summer, fall-ish, like end of summer. So I am doing the medium, and this has a lot of stretch to it too. I did not do a gauge swatch, you guys. I'm terrible. I didn't do a gauge swatch for this either. Thank God it turned out. Yeah, so not sure. I'll probably measure it and just see where I'm at. But so far it looks pretty good. Holding it up, I'm a little bit like, ooh, is that too small? But I think it's gonna stretch and block out pretty well. Other information about this, I am doing it on size 5 needles on my Addy Clicks. I have a Lock and Lou Progress Keeper on there. This is a chicory flower, and it was one of my first Lock and Lou Progress Keepers that I got a few years ago, and I think like 2019 or 2018, something like that. And I always use this one on a summer project. Not all of my summer projects, but I use it at least once or twice in the summertime because the chicory flowers are those bluish purple flowers that you see growing on the side of the road. And if you're a longtime listener, you will have heard me talk about how much I love those blue flowers, and I look forward to seeing them come out every single year. Right now, they are blooming. I'm seeing more and more of them every day, and I live in a very small town. The house that we bought is in a town of like 4,000 people, maybe less, 3,000 something. We live about a half hour, 25-minute drive, depending on traffic, into Madison, which is where I work. And on the way there, like, the majority of my drive is like country roads. So really rural area until you get a little bit into Madison, and I work just on like the very western side of Madison. So I'm not driving into the city like at all. I just like, yeah, it's like you start seeing buildings for a couple of minutes, and then I get off the highway and I'm right there at Knit Circus. So not too much busy traffic, but I see these a lot and I love them. They make me so happy. And so I bought one of those. Yeah, one of my first times like seeing Katie's stuff and her vending. She used to vend at a couple of shows like before the pandemic. She was at a couple shows. So yeah, I always put that on a summer project, and I'm really excited that it's on my Silverstone tee. I was gonna look quick to see if I could find a photo of the tee, but I don't think I printed out any photo pages of the pattern. I usually try and save ink if I can, so I don't print those. But you should look it up. It is a beautiful knit t-shirt. Also, I have this in my OG Mountain State Stitches bag. This is one of the originals, I think, from when Jenny started her company, and she sent this to me for a giveaway like the first year I was podcasting, which was back in 2016, I think. So it's been a while. And yeah, I was doing like a knit along with a friend. We were doing like a book themed knit along, and she asked if I wanted to do a giveaway with new bags that she was starting to make. And I said yes, and she sent one to me too. So I love this bag. Jenny still makes bags. So go to, I don't know if she's on Etsy or has her own website, but Mountain State Stitches is the company. Okay, I'm just gonna like cruise right along because I really don't know how much space I have left on my phone, and I'm just gonna keep crossing my fingers. So another work in progress that you have seen before and that I was kind of hoping to have done for today, I'm so close, is my Margaret Dashwood shawl. This is also out of Knit Circus yarns. Oh my word, Knit Circus is featuring heavy on this podcast. Last time it did too. I think almost all of my projects were in Knit Circus, but this is getting so big. This is by Joanna Johnson. It is a Jane Austen themed shawl. Margaret Dashwood is from Sense and Sensibility. And yeah, it's kind of like a shawl scarf. So it's a very thin shawl and very long, but I should be able to like wrap this around and tie it if I want to. I am literally like just very shy of casting off. I think I have to do like maybe 16 more rows, like one more repeat of this, and then I'm done. So, which is good because let me show you, I might not even have enough to do a full repeat or a full 2 repeats because this is all the yarn I have. There's not a whole lot of stitches to cast off, so that's giving me hope, but I might just like decrease extra times and just bind it off because I don't think you'll be able to notice the difference. As long as I get this like lace pattern completed, like I'm supposed to do this lace pattern another 2 times. It's, I think, an 8-row repeat, but I might just do it one more time and then bind off because yeah, I'm quickly running out of yarn. But that means I'm gonna get through the entire I had 3 50-gram skeins of this. And this is called Flower Stand. It's on our BFL base, which is called Breathtaking BFL. It's a fingering weight, and it's 100% superwash BFL wool. And I had 3 50-gram cakes of this. So as you can see, like our modernist colorways are very unique. They sort of like stripe and speckle, and they're not really variegated. They're not really speckled. They're not really striping. They're like a combination of all 3. It's very cool. It's so fun to knit with. These colorways I think are like my favorite to knit with because you just, it's always different. It's always different, even more so than like self-striping, because self-striping you get like a big section, or not all self-striping, but you get a decent section of like a solid color. This, it's like every stitch is different. So much fun. So I'm so close So close on that one. That will be a finished object for sure next time, because we all know it's probably going to be a few weeks before I podcast again. But this is in my Chasing Acorns bag. I talked about this bag last time. It has the vinyl interior and the cloth exterior. It's got a great handle for carrying, and then it has the drawstring, I guess, drawstring. Yeah. So yeah, I really like this bag. I'm not sure if Chasing Acorns is making bags anymore. We used to carry them at Knit Circus, and we haven't in probably almost 2 years was our last like new order of bags. And I really have been meaning to contact her and see if she's still making them, but I haven't really seen her post or update, you know, but who knows, because those bags were really popular, and they're really, really great project bags. Okay, so my next project, this is in a Darn Yarn MN bag, and this is the start of a sock. This poor little sock, I started this at the end of May, about a month ago, and this is how much I have on this sock. Oh, poor little sock. So Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast and Crazy Sock Lady Co. is hosting her Summer Sock Camp 2022, which is like a virtual online knit along. And it's all through the summer, and you basically just knit socks and post about it and chat about it on Ravelry or online. She does like live Instagram stories, or I guess Instagram live. It's not a story, but you know what I mean. I'm rushing a little bit, so I'm just like, I don't know what I'm saying. So she does this throughout the summer, and I was following like the start of it and really excited about it, and I hadn't knit socks for a little while, so I wanted to cast on a pair really badly, and then sample knit, like the H&H knitting started, and I really just wanted to get this done because I wanted to wear it. And then I started my other one on a whim and was like really hurrying and trying to get that done so I could wear it, but you know, I didn't have enough time. So I barely have gotten any work done on this. This has been the thing that I've grabbed in little moments of knitting, like I mean 2 or 3 minutes of knitting, when Hudson is playing on the floor or I'm giving him a bath and I kind of give him a few minutes at the end to just like splash and play. I have grabbed this and gotten like 2 or 3 rows done on it. It has not been a priority. It's been the project that's cast on like for an emergency if I just need mindless knitting. And soon, hopefully, that will change and I will get, you know, a good amount of knitting done on this, but I can't guarantee it. I do miss knitting socks though. It's been a couple of months since I've knit a sock, and yeah, I do hope to get back to it. So these are done on size 1. US 1 is at a 2.25 millimeter. I am doing not a published pattern. This is the pattern that I did for my Christmas Eve cast on socks for last year. And I really wanted another, like, I kind of wanted to like test knit my own sock pattern because I wrote it down, just the very basics of the stitch, and I just wanted to try it out again and see if I liked it as much. I do. It's a great little pattern. It's kind of got a little triangle of purl stitches and really sweet. So I do plan on writing this up and releasing it at some point. I'm not sure if it'll be like a fall time thing or I'll release it as a Christmas, you know, Christmas Eve cast on type of pattern. I don't know. It just depends on how fast I knit and how much time I have. And if I actually want this to be the yarn in the photos, or do I knit another pair, or do I use the socks I had before? All of this is up in the air. So I am knitting this out of Bumblebee Acres yarn. Oh, I can't remember the name of this is one of their, actually, theme again, Sense and Sensibility yarns when they did their Jane Austen colorways. I think this is Barton Cottage. Yes, this is Barton Cottage, and this is on their Coquette sock base, which is, why am I blanking on the type of wool this is? Corriedale. This is Corriedale wool. Corriedale and nylon blend. And I've knit with this before. I really like this base for like a fuzzy, cozy pair of socks. They have another merino nylon base too that I really like. But there's something about this one, and certain colorways I think look really great on a more like woolly wool. Definitely not scratchy, just really cozy. And I think I have at least one pair of socks out of their Coquette sock base. I might have two. But yeah, they're very warm, very nice to wear in the wintertime. So yeah, hopefully that gets a little bit of love soon. And then I do have another work in progress. I feel like I have a lot of projects to show you this time. Whereas last time I may have only had like two. But I needed something at H&H that was a little bit more mindless than my sweater. And my sweater is the Silverstone tee. It is pretty mindless, but I was getting to a point that I needed like stitch markers. I needed to count and like put my stitch markers in, look at a chart because there's a little bit of like a lace panel down the side, and it wasn't like intuitive yet. I was just starting it and I didn't know what the lace pattern was. So anyway, I was at a point like halfway through the day where I needed something mindless, because we definitely had times where there was an influx of people, a lot of people wanting to chat with us, talk to us. You know, there was times where it was very steady, but then we did have the times, especially around lunch, where like there wasn't, like no one came into our booth for like 45 minutes. So we're just kind of sitting there. My boss had a little bit of computer work to do, but otherwise we didn't really have anything that we needed to do. So I cast on the Copper Foxes cowl by Casey Herlihy. And this is basically just a tube cowl out of a DK weight that has like a little chevron lace pattern throughout the entire thing. So it's very like, you know, once you get into the rhythm and you learn the stitch pattern, it's pretty mindless. I didn't get too far on it, but it did serve its purpose because I got the ribbing done. You cast on with a smaller needle and do the ribbing, and then I started the lace panel, the lace pattern, but didn't get too far. But it still, yeah, it was great for when I needed it, and I will be back to knitting that soon, I hope, because I really liked it. It's very satisfying. And I am knitting this again out of Knit Circus yarns because I didn't really want to knit on anything using like different yarns when we were there at the show. I felt like I should, and I have a huge stash of Knit Circus, so I just grabbed a cake of yarn and cast on with it. But this is 100 Acre Wood Modernist. This is actually the prototype for it, so it looks a little bit different now. It's not as dark, and it has a little bit more of like a light blue to it. Still has the warm oranges and browns, but it's just a little bit more blue. So I just want to make sure I am not running. I have to go pick up Hudson soon, so I don't want to totally lose track of time. So yeah, I designed this colorway. The ones in the shop right now are a little bit different, but I ended up taking the prototype of it, the original that I dyed, and have been wanting to knit a cowl with it. So yeah, I am glad I have that on the needles. Again, you never know what kind of project you're gonna need for what, you know, time, if you're in the car, if you have like focused attention that you can actually sit and knit, or if you're watching TV, like I like to have just a variety of projects. Sometimes I don't. If I really want to crank something out like this sweater, I really only focused on this one. But now I don't have it, I don't have deadlines, so it's just kind of whatever I feel like knitting on, which is really nice actually. This is in a little bag with cows on it, which is super cute. I got this a long time ago. A couple of my friends had opened up a yarn store in La Crosse. It is now closed. It was called Unwound. If anyone was from that area, they were open for a few years and then had to close during the pandemic. But she had made this like in the early years of them being open, and I bought it. And I used to, there was a summer where I went to Seaver's, my husband's parents' farm, almost every weekend, and I knit a lot while I was out and about with Seaver, helping a little bit. I mean, he was mostly doing the work. I would help out too, but you know, when he'd be driving tractor or something, I would sit in the tractor with him and ride along and knit on usually socks. So that always reminds me of like summertime and being out on the farm with him in those first couple years that we were dating when he was farming full time. But yeah, so that has some good memories tied to it. So that is all the works in progress. Quite a lot. I think I had 4, which is pretty impressive, and then a finished object. So not too bad for just a few weeks of being away. But I do have a couple of things to show you that oh boy, something just fell, that I got since talking to you. One of them I mentioned when I was chatting with you last time, and that was the Little House Yarn Club from A Homespun House. She is dyeing a sock set. Well, I got a sock set. She's dyeing colorways based on all of the books, and started, gosh, when did she start? Before the pandemic, maybe? Around the start of the pandemic. So it's been a couple of years, I guess. And she took a little bit of, no, it was before she moved. Oh my goodness, that was a while ago. So Molly of A Homespun House lived for a couple of years here in Wisconsin, not too far from here actually. And she did, I want to say like the first 1 or 2 books while she was here in the States. And then they moved back to Germany like at the very beginning of the pandemic. So yeah, then it took like a few months for them to get settled. And then a little while later, she started dyeing up yarn again for that club. So yeah, we're now on these Happy Golden Years, which is the second to last book. And I got the sock set. This has been with me for a couple weeks now, so I'm guessing everyone has received theirs. But if you don't want to see what it looks like, if you for some reason haven't gotten yours yet, then this is your warning. But yeah, this is the sock set. So really, really pretty. I love the bright colors. I've mentioned this in the past that like her interpretation of the books is different than what mine would be, but I kind of like that. She always pulls out like these vibrant, you know, bright colors from these books, whereas like when I think about them in much more earthy tones, but that's just because, I don't know, of my own color preference, and the books are all about like, I don't know, they're, how do I say this? Old-timey, I guess. They're stories about like American pioneers. So I think lots of like wildflowers and grass and the blue sky and like very earthy like cabins. And she's kind of got these bright, fun colors in there instead, which I love, like different people's interpretations. It's pretty awesome. So this is on her 75/25 merino nylon base. She calls this base her soft sock if you are on her website. And yeah, it is a one of a kind. She doesn't like repeat these clubs, so I'm really sorry if you missed out, but she's, I'm guessing, going to be doing the first 4 years, which is the last book in the series. So keep your eye out for that. Usually she waits like a couple months in between them. And I know right now she's really busy doing Advents. So not sure when the last club is going to be coming out, but eventually, I would say. So that's really fun. The next thing that I got was a skein of Madeline Tosh hand-dyed yarn. This is, what base is this on? They're Twist Light, which is 75/25 as well. This is one of their like special colorways for the summer. They're also doing a sock knit along, and they came out with 3 different colorways for that sock knit along. I ordered this from one of my LYS's, not really local to me anymore, but I worked there for a while, Yarnology in Winona, Minnesota, a wonderful shop. And they had these ordered, and I ordered from them. They sent it to me because it wasn't there when we were visiting a few weeks ago. So I am not really participating in the knit along, but I really liked the colorway, and it's called Road Less Traveled. I just realized I didn't say that. But yeah, it has those warm, it's very fall-ish to me. It has a little bit of like bluish green in there, which I really, really like. Kind of reminds me of when like copper oxidizes. That's why I really liked this colorway. So yeah, might save this for a like autumn pair of socks. I think that would be really fun. So that came a couple weeks ago, and then when we were at H&H, a couple of the yarn dyers were doing cash and carry at the end of the show. So in the last couple of hours, you could kind of go around and buy yarn that they had brought. Mostly it was for like display purposes or like showing people colorways that were, you know, available for order for wholesale. But, you know, they were available to be purchased at the end of the show. So I went to Knitted Wit, their booth. They were actually right next to us, so it wasn't a long walk. But dropped one. I have a couple of their little mini skeins, and I've been aware of them for a long time. One of the shops near us down here carried them for a little while, and I don't think I have a full skein of their yarn. I never bought a full skein, but had to look through their bins, and I actually found a few. So the first one that caught my eye, this is no surprise because these are my colors. This is Bryce Canyon National Park. So they do national park colorways, and I love the blues, browns, and oranges. Not sure what I'm gonna do with this. Probably, well, it's 100% superwash merino, so maybe not socks, but I mean, I could. But yeah, it's just beautiful, and I knew I would be thinking about this later on if I didn't buy it, so that's what motivated me to just buy it. I have never been to Bryce Canyon National Park, but it's beautiful. I'm sure it's beautiful. I've seen photos. Another national park yarn that I picked up is Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This has green, like really, really dark green. Like I don't even know if you'll be able to distinguish that from black, but really dark green, really dark purple. And then the grays, purples, lavenders. So pretty. I actually bought this to knit a project for my mom. She has been to Great Smokies a few times and always raves about it. I'm sure she has plans to go eventually. One of her friends from work moved down there after retiring, so she's gone down there a couple times to see her. And then in general, I think her and my stepdad went down once, maybe with family. I can't remember. So I thought she would really like the fact, she would love these colors, but then the fact that it was based on Smoky Mountains. So I'll knit something, probably a cowl for her, eventually, maybe for Christmas. And speaking of Christmas, they had all of their new Christmas colorways that will be available that shops were ordering for the upcoming holiday. And this one is called Christmas Balls. I liked the bright green and red, and then the gray and white that kind of went in there. So again, not sure what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll just knit 100% merino socks. I mean, there's no harm in it. They might wear out a little quicker, but not like super quick. And then this one I'm really excited about. This is called Gingerbread Person. And I saw it and thought of Kayla, my friend Kayla's sock pattern. Oh my gosh. Why am I forgetting? Gingerbread House? I can't remember what it's called. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Kayla. But Kayla Anderson, she has an awesome sock pattern that uses like a main color. It's supposed to look like an iced gingerbread house. So it's got like the white, and the main color is like a gingerbready looking colorway. Anyway, I'm describing them really badly, but you should go on Ravelry and check it out. And I thought this colorway would be perfect for those. I have the pattern. I got it last year when she released it, but I haven't knit them yet. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. So hopefully I can do that also this Christmas season. Lots of big plans, but you know, that's okay. Yeah, so I think that's it. I have talked about everything that is here in my pile. I'm getting close to when I'm gonna leave to go pick up Hudson. So, and my phone let me record the rest of this, so I'm super happy. Hopefully it saves to my phone. And I didn't just, you know, waste a couple of hours sitting here, but yes, I hope you all have a fantastic week and weekend whenever this comes up or whenever you're watching it. Thank you so much for supporting and liking and subscribing. If you haven't yet, that would be great. It just kind of gets my videos in front of more makers and more knitters that enjoy this content. I will hopefully be back soon. And until then, I hope you all do lots of knitting, lots of things that just make you happy, whatever that is. Yep, go do them. So I'll talk to you all very soon. I just realized that I didn't say what my name was or where you can find me, so I'll do that now. If you've stuck around, thank you so much. My name is Jennifer, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Driftless Knitter. And yeah, thank you all for continuing to watch. Obviously, I need to work a little bit on my professionalism, but I'm just kidding. I'll be back soon, hopefully, and until then, I hope you all have a great week ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.